You're right, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, and not welcome back to the Aberdeen save. I'm not used to saying that. Something a little bit different today. I'm doing a tactical breakdown or a tactical reimagining in the match engine. It's something that I've been asked to do quite a few times on stream and off stream as well. So hopefully you enjoy it. And today we're going to look at Ralf Rangnick. So across his managerial career, he's used various different systems. What I am going to concentrate on today, though, is probably what's kind of attributed to him, or one of his more famous systems that he used, especially with Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg as well. And that's his 4-2-2-2 or a 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2, whichever way you want to look at it. A hyper-aggressive, narrow, compact pressing system designed to create turnovers, create chances through turnovers, and be clinical and aggressive when you do get the ball from those turnovers. So speaking of a formation, there is a quote from him where he says, "Formation is not relevant. It is only the steering wheel or the tools." So it's not necessarily about where your players are positioned on the pitch. It's more about mentality, an ethos on the pitch, and a desire. Now, one of the things that he's gone over in his talks is there are 5 areas that he wants from his tactic. It's what happens when we have the ball, what happens when the other team have the ball, what happens when we lose it, and what happens when we win it. So when you're in possession, out of possession, and in both phases of the transition. The 5th one, set pieces. We all know set pieces are important, and especially in Football Manager. Now, I'm not going to go into a in-depth tactical breakdown of how Rangnick has had his teams play in the past. There are tons of other videos that are great at that, and I don't want to bloat this into a 45-minute video of me showing you slides. So I just want to go over the key tactical points of Rangnick's teams. So his tactics are all about restricting the passing options in the defensive third of the opposition, pressing the ball holder with pass rushes and cutting off the passing lines, a very narrow, compact offensive shape, so that if and when there are turnovers, there's a lot of players around there to take advantage of it, and also numbers to press as well. And once your players have got that ball in the defensive third, in the opposition's defensive third, after causing that turmoil, the plan is to get a shot away nice and quick, create a good opening, and get a shot on goal within 10 seconds. So it's a very high tempo, very attacking, very energetic system. Now, in terms of how the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-2-4 system worked, it was, as I've said, very narrow in attack and in defence. There's always one sitting midfielder ready to recycle possession and take it from defenders, and one more kind of dynamic shuttling midfielder ready to get involved with attacks, but also be there for defence as well. So I'm going to be concentrating on that, getting width mainly from wing-backs and getting very attacking runs from the wing-backs, causing pressure, and also pressing up high and trying to cause, again, those defensive turnovers. In terms of the forward roles, I'm going to want strikers that are going to cause issues in the defensive third. So people who are going to press, people who are going to be a physical menace, people who are going to cause issues and, again, create errors. It's all about creating errors and getting turnovers in areas that can cause a lot of problems for the opposition team. All in all, it is a very high-risk way of playing football, but high risk, high reward. You can be rewarded handsomely for playing this style of football, but it does ask a lot of your players, and it does also have the potential to blow up in your face a little bit. But that's enough preamble. Let's have a look at the system, shall we? So as you can see from the It Ralf system, you can find it on the Steam Workshop, by the way. We're going with a 4-2-4 with a very, well, not very attacking, an attacking mentality. We are using a very narrow, or the narrowest attacking width that I can. So a lot of the play is forced or aimed to be played through the centre of the pitch. Not taking all of the width away, there is still obviously players out wide, but focusing the play through that centre of the park. We're looking to pass into space, we're playing out of defence, we're playing a more direct, higher tempo style of football, so we want to get the ball forward, nice and quick. We're working the ball into the box, though, when it does get into that final third. We don't want hopeless shots from 30 yards, we don't want random hoof balls into the box. It's not that kind of system. It's all about getting into the final third and then using our high quality players to create really good chances. We're also being more disciplined. I want my players to stick to what I'm telling them to do. In transition, fairly obviously, we are counter-pressing and counter-attacking, so we are looking to win the ball in that final third. We are also looking to take advantage of that by charging players forward, getting men into the box, getting numbers overloading in various areas, and yeah, counter-attack, basically. Then out of possession, it is all about that. Again, a really high line of engagement. I want my forward players really pressuring that back line. We're playing more compact, so we're forcing players inside. So we're keeping that compact defensive shape to try and force players into where our ball winners are, which are our centre-backs, and our generally hard-working central midfielders. We're also using tighter marking, so there's players close to the opposition to cut off those passing lanes, and fairly obviously, we're triggering the press much more often. So in terms of the roles, I'll start from back to front. We've got Gulashi in goal, who is a decent keeper. He's a decent shot stopper. He has got an error in him, though, as I have noticed as I've been testing this tactic. We've got a ball-playing defender and a standard central defender. I want one defender who is comfortable on the ball and who will be looked at to play the ball out from the back, and one more just kind of standard central defender, although they are both fairly competent on the ball. Going to the wing-backs, as I said earlier, I want attacking width and I want pressure from those attacking wing-backs. So they get high up the pitch, they cause pressures on the opposition wingers when they're in their own half, and also obviously get in behind, high and wide, to try and create overloads in those wide areas. So moving into midfield, I wanted a player who is going to sit a little bit deeper and allow that progression from defence. Even though we are playing a higher tempo and a more direct game, you can still play that through the midfield, and if he's free, he is there to move the play up through the lines and get it into that final third where our players are going to be dangerous. Speaking of the final third, I have a box-to-box midfielder here. It's Ilias Mariba right now, but it could be any one of numerous players. It's a very flexible team that I've got here at Leipzig. I've not done any transfers. They've just got a really good team that are very rotatable. So he drops deep and helps with the deeper defensive phase of play when it's needed, but also gets up to the box, gets into the box and around the box, offers another body for overloads, and also offers a bit of creativity as well. And into the final third, this is how I tried to get that famous kind of hexagonal shape. Two inverted wingers, again, not with any individual instructions on there. They're just playing as standard inverted wingers. Right now it's Forsberg and Olmo, but I've had all kinds of players playing in these positions, and a lot of them have performed really, really well. They play narrow, they get inside, they get behind the strikers and just in front of that midfield, causing a lot of issues in the centre of the park and a lot of things for those narrow players or central players in the opposition to think about, leaving space for those wing-backs to get forward. And finally, the front line. I played around with a couple of different instructions on these, but I settled on a pressing forward and a target forward. Obviously, your pressing forward is going to harry defenders and run in behind and run channels. And then you get your target forward as a big, strong, physical presence in that final third. And on that attacking instruction as well, he's going to try and get in behind and get goals and cause issues with that defensive line, especially with a higher press. Having a look at how the players have been living with this, and living with it is one thing. I'll go into that in a second. As you can see, Angelino is our best performer, 11 assists, and that is a lot of attacking down that left-hand side in 17 appearances, playing really, really well. Forsberg's been fantastic. He's been played off the right, off the left, through the centre of midfield as well. Very energetic, really well-round player, and I've got a little bit of a new love for Emil Forsberg. He's always been a very good player, but I'm very much appreciating what he gives to this team and maybe what he'll give to me in other saves in the future. Andre Silva has been pretty much the standout performer with his 21 goals in 17 starts. He can play either the target forward or the pressing forward, and he does rotate into those positions with Yusuf Poulsen as the main target forward. We've also had Brian Brobby coming in there as well as Nkunku as well, who can play off either wing. I have training to play through the centre as well, and he is effective there. But as you can see, lots of very good performances. When you actually look at the goal return, I think pretty much everyone is performing above. Like Nkunku has got 5 goals in 5.59, but 21 in 15, 16 in 12, 10 in 5.4, 9 in 4, 6 in 5.6, 5 in 3. Everyone is performing above their XG, which to me shows that we're creating really good chances and getting them into the feet of the players that can make the difference. Now, to show the effectiveness of the tactic, I've pulled a few little things in the data hub here. So things like the possession. So frequently wins the ball loose in possession. Now, because we play such a high tempo attacking system, we do give the ball away. My players are looking to make killer balls, are looking to cause errors in the final third, but that can cause us giving the ball away. But I really like the fact that we're up here frequently winning the ball. When it's more teams that are generally down the lower end of the table, you tend to see teams at the top end of the table down this end, the lower teams down here. But it shows that we are pressuring the team into turning the ball over. We're winning the ball back a lot. On our defensive scatter graph, though, we are down with the big boys. So we are having fewer blocks and fewer clearances. That shows that the other teams aren't getting near our goal all that often. So we're not having to do those blocks. We're not having to do the clearances because we're keeping the pressure on them in their own half. And that shows in the possession gained stats as well. Now, it doesn't look like we're doing it that much in the actual defensive red zone, you'd want to call it if you're an NFL fan, I guess. But in the middle of the park, we are obviously putting a lot of pressure in there. There's not a lot getting near our goal, and a lot of the balls being won are in the middle of the park, but still are being won up in that final third. So they've obviously got more options to pass around there. We're causing errors, and I'm fairly certain that the possession gained will count when they have to play a long ball down the pitch. The possession gained in this graph will show where our defenders pick it up and our attack can go again. And that's kind of the same with defensive actions. Again, a lot of defensive actions in our own half, but that is also reclaiming possession and winning dueled headers or dual tackles from long balls. So we tend to win the ball a lot back in our own half and, again, just keep that wave after wave of attacks going. It is quite intense to watch, I'm not going to lie. Now, with the team defending polygon in here, it paints quite the picture. So clearances per game and blocks per game, as I said earlier, we are well below average. So that's showing that we are not getting a lot of pressure near our goal. Interceptions per game, we are miles and miles and miles ahead of the average, but most of the teams in the leagues as well. We win a high percentage of our tackles. We have a very low XGA and a very low conceded per game. And we don't make a lot of tackles as well. A lot of our defensive play, as it plays out, is getting that pressure on the opposition, not to win a tackle, but to cause errors and cause misplaced passes and cause, panic and long balls back to our defense. It's all about regaining possession through pressure, not through winning one-on-one duels. And a little look at the general performance. As you can see, goals per game so far, 3.35, XG, 2.64 per game. So we're outperforming our goals per game, as you saw from the player performances, but expected goals per game is high as well, the highest in the league right now. We're having a lot of shots per game as well. Like I said earlier, getting a shot away in that first 10 seconds or 10 seconds after the turnover, that is key. It's all about pace, it's all about speed, it's all about danger. And again, looking at the shooting scatter graph, that shows this again. We are right up at the top with Dortmund and Bayern Munich, with aggressive shooting and high-quality shooting. Now, that's not necessarily how many are hitting the target, but that's how many of these shots are from high-quality positions. So we are causing turnovers, getting good shooting opportunities in the final third, and taking lots of shots, and we are scoring lots of goals. So as you can see from here, we are halfway through the season with Red Bull Leipzig. I'm not going to go any further. I just wanted to do a half-season test where I've managed every game, and we are unbeaten so far. We are 17 games in. We've got 14 wins, 3 draws, and a couple of those were action-packed score draws. Only 1-0-0, and that was a game that's just happened when all of my players, again, I'll go into this a little bit, but in a little bit, all of my players were very, very tired. In terms of the actual performance, scored 57 goals, conceded 17, plus 40 goal difference, 45 points. It's been a hell of a season so far. If I continue it on, I dare say we'll see more of the same, but I think the tactic test for this, with this team, is pretty much over. So let's talk about intensity. The guys at SI actually talked about how they reworked player condition and fatigue and match load and all that kind of stuff this year, and you definitely see it within a system that is as intense as this. We get a lot of muscle injuries, short injuries. We get a lot of, look at the fatigue of these players as well. The match load, the workload is very high. I even have my training so that it is quite a lessened training style because the games come so thick and fast. I just want to keep my players fit to be able to play this. And it's really, really hard to maintain. You get 60 minutes of high-action football, and then sometimes after the 60th minute, it looks like someone just pulled the plug out of everyone. I don't know how maintainable this is for a full campaign, so a 60, 70 game campaign with a 25-man squad. If you're not picking up injuries and you have hyper fit players, I think you can get away with it. I don't know how suitable this is long term. It's not quite as easy as the meta last year of just plugging and playing Gegenpress. Players do need rotating, they do need resting, they do need fitness breaks. The fatigue is just constant. And yeah, if you try this out, keep an eye on it, make sure you're keeping your players fit, make sure you're rotating, because before you know it, hamstrings are gone. One small aside, actually, in terms of in-game management, I don't change a lot. I don't change things towards the end of a game. I don't necessarily change major things about the system. But what I do is I will occasionally focus the play through the middle or stop passing the ball into the space and run at the defense. If we're not creating enough opportunities, I'll just try and look for little openings in the match engine and what I'm seeing in replays to try and find that edge. Sometimes, like I say, if we're just using the standard pass into space, we'll be playing the ball ahead of players who aren't being tight marked and be giving the ball away a little bit too much. So what I'll do instead is I'll try and get it into the feet of my players and get them trying to create the same kind of chaos by running at them rather than running into space. And generally speaking, the underlaps with the inverted wingers allows a very nice compact, keeps that compact shape, but allows a really nice compact overlap, underlap kind of thing going through the middle of the park. And again, creates a load of really nice chances. So bear that in mind, use that as and when you need to. But in terms of anything else, I don't really change anything. So if you do want to give this system a test, like I say, I have put it up on the Steam Workshop. There is a link down below. If you really want to have a go at managing these injury risks, be my guest. But if you do test it out and you do like it, leave a comment down below, get in touch with me on Twitter, go and join the Discord, join in with the discussion over there. Let me know how it's gone for you, because I really love to see how this works on a broader spectrum with different teams. And speaking of different teams, it wouldn't be quite right unless we had a look at how it looked with Man United. So I did set up a save with Man United with the current lineup, the current squad. I set the tactic, I set the players, my preferred 11, and just holidayed it. I didn't want to have any interaction with how the game plays out in-game. I just wanted to see how the AI managed it, and it was Mickey Phelan in charge. And as you can see, using the same system, the exact same players, well, the exact same player roles, sorry, Man United, top of the league, 116, drawn 4, lost 1 with a plus 36 goal difference, 52 points, and ahead of Leeds, surprisingly, actually, very surprisingly this year when you consider Leeds' real form. But again, you've just got players performing really highly. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, again, one of the fullbacks, is playing really well. Luke Shaw on the other side, he's injured, has played really well. Let's have a look at the goals. Again, 26 from 20, 20 from 14, well, 15, 11 from 6.7, 7.7 from 2. I'm stumbling over my words because it's almost unbelievable. 6 from 2.6, 4 from 3. You get the idea. We're creating a lot of very good chances and giving players really good opportunities to finish those chances. A lot of these players are absolutely shattered, though. As you can see, they've mainly just played the same 11. There's been a bit of a rotation through, I assume, injuries and suspensions, but yeah, it'd be interesting to do it full-time with Man United, or even finish the season with Leipzig to see how you can handle it with a squad that isn't necessarily built for it like Man United. But I'll take these results and performances, I guess, as proof of concept. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed making the tactic. I've enjoyed researching it. I love this kind of stuff. Like, I'm a bit of a nerd. So any other tactics you think I should try and recreate in this FM22 match engine, let me know down below. What would you like to see? Why would you like to see it? Any specific eras of certain teams or just certain managers? Yeah, just let me know. I've already got a list of things I'd like to do, but that can always grow, and I will always try and bring you the stuff that you want to see. But as always, guys, if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and come and watch over on twitch.tv/VikingDan. I'm playing a save with Aberdeen at the minute. We're doing not this kind of tactic, but a similar kind of methodology and idea behind how we play football. It's not as intense as this, though. But for now, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.